There's a massive difference between this coming depression and the last one that we experienced. And part of seeing what's to come, not to get anybody scared of anything, but it's a matter, it's do or die time. And I see a potential to make a massive shift and not experience a depression if we wake up in time. Basically, we have to collapse every business that we happen to be earning our living from right now, because those are businesses that are all killing us. And they, it's the only thing that we're earning a living from. A lot of it is security. What do we need to protect? And it's like the wealthy guys that are stealing from the poor. A lot of drugs. I mean, just sort of look at everything that is not working is the only thing we're earning a living out of right now. But if we can make a shift and start earning our, survival, paying bills and feeding yourselves, is if we can make a shift into doing everything that's right, we wouldn't notice a thing. We wouldn't blink an eye. And that's why maybe this 2012 could be a non-issue if we can gradually understand what needs to be changed. And part of that is understanding what the last depression was like. And I tried to gain as much information of this as possible through my own heritage. And I know that both of my grandparents did okay. My mother's side, they were into lumber, so they owned an awful lot of land that had a lot of trees, and they ran a sawmill that was feeding the railroad. So there was some way of earning some kind of living, but it was definitely not enough to live off of. But they had land and they were able to grow their own food, and they had a creek that they could fish off of. I mean, they had a way that they could survive, but not very many people did. And on the other side of my family, my grandfather was a butcher. So the stories that I heard is all food was rationed, and this is in Canada, that there was a shortage of food. Nobody was getting any food, and you did have food vouchers, you know. And my heritage is, I guess, he ran the black market on food. Was into gambling and an alcoholic. He was not a happy man. And my heritage, they make him sound like he's a hero because he was helping people get food through the black market. But it's who got the food. Obviously the guys that were the wealthiest were able to manipulate to get more food. So um, they were bad times. I mean, they didn't even have running water or um, bathrooms. There was no TV in I mean, when I went to see my grandparents, there was no TV, and when I grew up, they was black and white. Is what I got introduced to, and it took years before we had color TV, and now everybody has a cell phone. It was like I remember being a kid and everybody wanted a phone in their room. That was a big deal, but now it's everybody wants a laptop and um, cell phones. We've really progressed an awful lot from the time I was a kid to where we are now. I remember going into lakes that were really, really clean. I remember when the water was clean everywhere, in the oceans everywhere, and to see them the way they are now is, you would think that you were on a completely different planet. But what's different now is a lot of people don't own their own land. Back then, I remember even being a teenager where you can buy a house and a piece of land for $10,000, and then all of a sudden it skyrocketed to houses were like worth 100,000. I've seen, I've seen massive, massive houses in Canada that were bought for like $5,000, and lots of land. But then, through all of these past years that I've been alive, the prices of houses skyrocketed to the point where nobody owns their own house. It's actually a bank. And one day you're going to go into your ATM and try and take money out, and they won't work. Um, the savings that you think you have doesn't really exist. It's just a number on a computer screen that, They say you've got that money, but there is no money. It's all in somebody else's pocket. A lot of this shit is fake. So, we're going to be dealing with a lot of people that aren't going to have homes. There's, most of our farming has been destroyed. Monsanto's and um, in this particular area, they've, are growing for alcohol. There's no like fruit can grow here pretty good, but they've sort of gotten rid of everything that would make sense to keep your community fed. It's all been, highly focused type of farming that you sell to a cartel that sells to a globe. Nothing that can actually sustain a community. And transportation is going to go. They're overpricing oil to the point where it doesn't matter whether there is any oil or not. It's too expensive to come out because nobody can afford to use it. Um, and what pulled us out of the last depression is stimulation. They stimulated the market with a welfare system. Now it's the welfare system that's actually catching up with us and creating a global depression. It's not just that, but it's stimulus dollars in the wrong areas, um, which are basically stimulating a problem that you don't want to face. And it's like, and somehow magically we think that's going to solve any problem. But that's basically what's going on is, we have so many cost effective rules. We have corporations infiltrating our government so that they're supporting, everything a corporation wants to do, which basically killing you is worth a lot of money. There's a lot of pills they can sell you before you die. There's a lot of ways they can get rich by putting poison in the air that, okay, so you die, but I can get rich off the pills I sell you as you die, and then the coffins are worth a lot of money. So it's a freaking game that we need to wake up. It's do or die time, because it was war and welfare that pulled us out of our last depression, and we don't have that answer anymore. We need a completely different mindset to pull us out of this one, and there are solutions. Kind of check out some of the other videos. Unconditional love is one of them, but you've got to start believing in yourself. You're made to be programmed to believe you're something that you're not, and you've been programmed to believe you don't have a full potential, that you're not capable of getting a good idea. That newsflash, we're geniuses. We just have to discover our geniusness and unfold that with confidence. So listen to a few other videos and you'll kind of find yourself. Peace out.